In today's news, Thai officials continue to insist on more restrictions over a variant that is proving to be quite mild. Meanwhile, a former boxer is murdered and a Buddhist monk gets lit on whiskey during New Year's Day. All this coming up in today's program. Happy January! You're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest headlines in Thailand and beyond. My name is Jet Gunther, and in our first story, following an inevitable rise in cases of the Omicron variant in Thailand, the government will discuss postponing the resumption of the test and go entry scheme in an attempt to, delay the inevitable. Public Health Minister Anutin Chanvirakul says imported Omicron cases have now been detected in people arriving through test and go, and so therefore his ministry has decided to delay the scheme further, and this decision will be presented to the CCSA for approval. However, travelers whose Thailand pass applications have already been approved under the test and go scheme must now enter the country by January the 10th. Those who do not enter before the 10th will only be able to enter the kingdom via Phuket sandbox or via quarantine. Anutin added that there were a further 229 Omicron infections reported in Thailand yesterday, meaning a total of 1,780 to date. Meanwhile, a government spokesman says all government agencies, banks, and private sector companies are asked to carry out antigen testing on their employees in order to curtail the spread of the highly contagious variant. Health officials in Phuket are urging tourism operators to be more cautious and adhere strictly to disease prevention measures as Omicron cases rise. Gusak Yetgun from Phuket's Public Health Office says businesses must use antigen tests regularly as the island has now detected 144 cases of Omicron. According to the report, active case finding along Patong's infamous Soi Bang La on December the 28th resulted in 11 Omicron cases. Gusak says it's imperative that businesses in the area enforce strict COVID prevention measures to curb the spread of the virus. Wirashit Krua Sombat, who heads up the Union of Patong Entertainment Venue Operators, has urged businesses to test their staff every 7 days to cut the risk of contagion. Meanwhile, in eastern Thailand, Chonburi Governor Pakornthon Tianchai has expressed concern at a rise in Omicron cases, saying many people have dropped their guards due to reports that the variant is milder. Tests show that 80% of new cases in the province are the Omicron variant. Pakornthon says restaurants and tourism operators in Chonburi must continue screening both workers and customers before entry and has warned that failure to do so could see them shut down. The Office of Basic Education Commission says schools could end up returning to online learning. However, the Commission says that the decision will be left up to individual education areas and provinces. OBEC boss Ampon Pinasa says some schools may decide to move to online learning for a week after the New Year holiday period. The Commission has written to school directors and provincial control disease committees to offer advice on COVID prevention measures and strategies for reducing infection rates. Ultimately, however, Ampon says the decision rests with the local authorities and individual provinces. The Bangkok Post reports that Education Minister Trinut Tiantong has expressed his concern about the surge in infections and how it could affect school learning after the recent holiday period. He has urged all schools to comply with disease prevention measures in order to curb the spread of the virus. Meanwhile, in the northeast of the country, some provinces have gone ahead with temporary measures aimed at reducing infection rates, including a return to online classes in Ubon Ratchathani. Students will resume home learning until January 17th, while cinemas, gyms, and sports facilities in the province are also closed until the same date. In Khon Kaen province, the governor has closed all schools and nurseries until January 14th. Boarding schools will be permitted to continue on-site classes under strict conditions. The province has reported 232 new infections since January 1st. A paramotor accident on the island of Koh Lan in the eastern province of Chonburi has left a teenage foreign tourist and her Thai instructor seriously injured. According to a Pattaya News report, the incident occurred yesterday afternoon when the device became stuck in a power pole as the Thai man and his 17-year-old student were flying. Both of them sustained serious injuries caused by electric shock. According to the report, Pattaya Tourist Police were notified of the accident at around 4 p.m. and traveled to Koh Lan by speedboat. Officers instructed the local electricity authority to shut off the power and emergency responders were called. Rescue workers found the paramotor device tangled in wires on a power pole and the rooftop of a nearby business. It's understood both the instructor and the teenage girl have been seriously injured in the incident. Both were rescued and transported to a hospital in Pattaya by speedboat. The teenage girl is reported to be a foreign tourist who was learning to fly the paramotor device. A witness reported strong gusts of wind that drove the device onto the power pole, where it became stuck, causing both passengers to sustain an electric shock. A Thai man is being accused of hitting a Russian tourist during a heated argument when she refused to pay a 50 baht entrance fee to a viewpoint in Koh Samui. The 33-year-old woman and her partner went to a local police station and reported that a man hit her on the cheek and rib. A video shot by a bystander shows the tourist yelling at the 57-year-old Thai man while the partner tried to break up the fight. The tourists were driving a motorcycle around the island and decided to check out a popular viewpoint named Overlap Stone to take photos and watch the sunset. A Thai man was at the entrance of the viewpoint and asked for an entry fee of 50 baht. Reports say the woman claims that her glasses and necklace, which cost around 30,000 baht, were damaged during the incident. She also claimed that the costs for an x-ray and medicine for her injured rib, cheek, and nose cost 5,920 baht. The Thai man, who works as a caretaker of the privately owned viewpoint, says there is a sign informing visitors that the entrance fee is 50 baht. Reports also claim that he just meant to poke the woman and she slapped him first. He claims he reacted instinctively. A 54-year-old former Thai boxer was killed and 2 others were injured after a fight broke out between rival groups outside Pattaya's popular Tree Town night market on Saturday night. Narawit Prongsungneun, who competed in local boxing matches, was stabbed in the chest. A video recorded by witnesses reportedly shows Narawit being chased by up to 8 men. He fell and was stabbed in the chest with a knife. The others kicked and punched him while he lay on the ground covered in blood. Narawit died on the way to the Pattaya hospital. The market houses open-air bars, street food, and clothing stalls. The fight broke out near a rapid COVID testing booth by an entrance to the market, and public officials attempted to intervene. Police are now investigating to determine the motive of the attack, but it could possibly be related to business. Officers say those who attacked the former boxer ran the market for 6 years, and the victim was part of a new team taking over management. One of the 3 suspects has been arrested, but he says he wasn't involved and attempted to break up the fight. And that wraps up our Tuesday report. Thailand News Today will be back tomorrow. Meanwhile, you're now up to date on the Thaiger.